Welcome to Success Theory, and in this episode, we're going to discuss how you can gain 20k followers on Twitter in under a year. This is a huge part of my Success Theory journey. I was able to do this in under a year to really help push forward my coaching business, my info product business, and also help grow this YouTube channel as well. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, if you want to grow on Twitter, hit that like button, and then let's jump into these strategies. Here are my current stats on Twitter. As you can see, I have got over 20k followers and I'm gaining around about 4,000 to 5,000 followers a month currently because of the strategies I've been able to use. In this video, I'm going to talk about the 3 key areas that I feel are the most important areas that you need to understand so you can grow quickly on Twitter. And Twitter is a fantastic place for you to be able to sell your coaching services, your info products, or anything that you're doing in your success journey that you want to share with the world. Twitter is a great place to do that. The 3 key areas I'm going to talk about are understanding what content creation is, how to write on Twitter, and the best way to learn how to write on Twitter. And then finally, third, community. How to get involved, how to connect with people, and how to build a network that allows you to succeed on Twitter. The first area I'm going to talk about is content creation. Like any platform, you need to understand what type of content works best for that platform. Whether it's TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, they all have slightly different vibes to them. And that is the same for Twitter. But on top of that, it all depends on what niche you're in as well. If you're in a financial niche, if you're in a health and fitness niche, if you're in business philosophy niche, whatever your niche is on Twitter, there's a slightly different way and vibe of how you want to connect with your audience and the type of content that you need to create. A lot of large businesses and a lot of large celebrities really just post content because of their fame or because of their recognition. They don't actually post good Twitter content. So a lot of people actually end up following the type of style that famous people or large corporations do. And they're terrible at Twitter. They're absolutely awful. When you actually look at their engagement, if you actually look at their style of tweets, they're not very well written. And you see this quite a lot as you scroll down through your Twitter feed. You'll see a lot of people using hashtags. Don't use that on Twitter. Hashtags are not cool on Twitter. The other thing you'll see is people just dropping links with no real idea of why should I click on this link. You see this a lot in business Twitter where people will just drop links to blog articles or other things expecting people to then click on that link and then be taken to a different website. No, every platform, Twitter included, wants to keep you on that platform. So you need to write tweets and create content that keeps people engaged on Twitter, not taking them away to YouTube, not taking them away to your website. Yes, if you're selling something, that is the point and it does help, but you need to write content that makes people want to leave Twitter and click to your website. So this is the main key first part that I want to discuss is understanding the right content creation. I had to learn how to do this, and there's a fantastic guide called Create 24/7 that allows you to really understand the easiest way to create on Twitter. It's by a very large account on Twitter by a gentleman called The Art of Purpose. I'll put the link in below, the description below, to a link where you can click and you can actually see that guide. But this is the perfect place to start for your content creation. It really goes deep into the different types and style of tweets and everything that you have to do to actually gain traction on Twitter. So I highly recommend you check that out. I know when I first got started on Twitter, I was terrible. I was not great at it. I was just posting links to my YouTube channel or just posting quotes from famous Stoics or philosophers and then hashtagging different things below, which is just the wrong way to do it. This is where you need to learn how to write for Twitter. And that's my second point, which we're going to talk about right now. And as I'm starting to talk about this, let's bring up a couple of my best tweets. These 3 tweets that are now on the screen that I'm showing are my top 3 tweets for likes and comments over the last month or so. They really show a slightly different style on each tweet. They are quite short, they're very punchy and very impactful. My favorite one and the best tweet so far that's done for me, 4K, you could nearly describe that as viral, is talking about a process that I've actually gone through in my life, is disappearing for 6 months, doing deep work, and then coming back and having 90% of your problems disappear because you've actually transformed yourself. This is an actual journey that a lot of people on a success or personal development journey go on, And a lot of people relate to that because everybody can feel like they have 6 months to change their lives. It's a good enough time. It's just long enough where you know you can change, but it's not too long. You're like, oh, I don't want to spend 6 months doing that. So it's very relatable. But I just didn't write that tweet the first day I was on Twitter. I actually had to learn how to write that tweet. And again, I'm going to talk about another guide by a gentleman called J.K. Molina here. And he has a fantastic guide called Bow and Arrow, which actually taught me how to write those tweets. By reading his guide, I was able to understand what types of tweets do well. And now I regularly get 500 plus likes on tweets, all the way up to 1K and more on my tweets and my threads, all because I spent a little bit of time reading this guide called Bow and Arrow that allowed me to actually curate the way that I talk onto Twitter that allowed me to get a lot of followers. Like 24/7 creation that I just mentioned in the last point and this one for Bow and Arrow, these two guides will absolutely superpower you to thousands of followers a month. Like I showed at the start of this video, and I'll bring it back up on the screen again, look how many followers I had in the last month. And I 100% can tell you that that's down to these two guides. Studying them, practicing, and then coming back to testing them, and then coming back to start and studying again, and always working to be better on Twitter. That is the key strategy here. You need to learn the strategies, you need to actually study them, you need to test them, and you need to keep doing them. That's how you win on Twitter. And these two guides will definitely help you get 20K followers in less than a year. Third point I want to talk about, it's a huge point, is you need to be able to connect with other people on Twitter. Networking is actually one of the main reasons why I've been able to grow. You grow with people. If you're on Twitter just for 10 minutes a day, posting the odd tweet, you're posting out to nobody. You're speaking to an empty room. You need to spend a little bit of time each day, a couple of hours each day, very early on. Now, I don't spend that kind of time on Twitter now, but at the start I did. To build up my energy, to build up that flow, to get those followers coming in, I had to spend time reaching out to other people, learning from the guides that I've discussed, and actually delivering really good content. But connecting with other people allows you to grow in a community. The more people that you reach out to, the more people that you can share ideas with, the easier it is to grow on Twitter. You can help each other grow by supporting each other when you drop threads, when you drop a tweet that does well. There are ways that having many people in your community can help you really develop. You're able to get feedback from the people you're growing with, and you learn faster because you get that direct feedback. I started my Twitter account around about 4 years ago at the same time as this YouTube channel. But all I was doing then was pumping and dumping my YouTube links onto my Twitter feed and doing nothing else. I think I was able to gain 75 followers randomly. I have no idea how that happened. People just looking at my links from my YouTube videos. But when I actually started using Twitter in a more useful way, when I started to leverage it in a better way, because of the guides that I've discussed already in this video, I saw my growth skyrocket. If you can reach out and network with people in your niche, it will make it much, much easier. If you're delivering value because you understand how to write, because you understand the guides that I've just discussed, you think about the tweets that I showed on the screen there. They're very, very to the point, punchy, and very direct. A lot of people don't understand how to write on Twitter. They use hashtags. They just drop links. They write long, windy stories that are kind of like a cut and paste from a novel. These strategies don't work on Twitter. The strategies that work on Twitter are a little bit like short, concise, punchy, direct, full of authority. These are the ideas that work on Twitter. Once you get into your niche and you start implementing those ideas, you will see your growth explode, especially if you've developed a network of other people in that niche. Community is a huge part of growing on any platform, but especially on Twitter. So find your community and grow quickly. Okay, so those were the 3 key areas for growing on Twitter. Making sure you understand how to create content that works on Twitter. Short, punchy, direct, fun content that works within your niche. Second of all, understand how to write on Twitter. Understand the psychology behind likes. Understand the psychology behind retweets. Understand how to engage with your audience by learning how to write for your niche. And the only way to actually learn how to write for your niche is to get in your niche and start writing tweets and seeing what feedback you get from likes, from retweets, from profile clicks, from feedback from your network. And that's finally the third point. Find your network, find your niche, find your network, reach out to people, deliver value, help other people succeed. They will help you succeed. And I can guarantee you, if you can read the 2 guides I've discussed in this video, if you can understand the content creation for your niche, if you can understand how to write for your niche, and you can build a network of people in your niche, you will blast past 20K followers on Twitter in under a year. 100% guaranteed. Thanks very much for watching all the way through to this part of the video. If you enjoyed this video, if you found it useful, hit that subscribe button and come along and join my success theory journey. My mission here is to help people just get better in life, understand their blind spots, understand how they can develop themselves, and basically give you the success series, the theories behind how things work. Just like I've done today on Twitter, giving you the theories of how Twitter works. Thanks very much for watching all the way through this part of the video. I deeply appreciate it. Hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Make it a good one.